here.
Can't wait to meet you.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething. You know, I think about this tweet by Twitterberry from time to time because my intention with this channel wasn't to become a public enemy of the most popular fandoms on the internet, but I've come to embrace this idea of me he's had in his head. It clearly pisses him off that I have at least one negative video about DC, Marvel, and Star Wars, and I love that. And upon watching Five Nights at Freddy's 2, it made me think the next morning, after 5 years of only pissing on those 3 franchises, maybe it's time I aim my dick at another one with a full bladder. Now I have no idea if Twitterberry is a Fredhead, a Faz fan, whatever you want to call it, but based on his maturity level, I'm guessing he's the target demographic for Five Nights at Freddy's. And somehow, posting my Flash Season 5 video was not enough to revive him on Twitter. So let's see if this starts the ignition. If it doesn't, well, this is for you, Fredheads.
Mike, if you want this job, you need to spend 5 nights at Freddy's.
Okay, sounds simple enough. Can I bring my sister to the location?
Yes, that's fine. But don't be mistaken, this isn't some sort of pizzeria simulator.
I understand. Believe me, your help is truly wanted.
Oh right, I have to state that I have not played any of the games nor know any of their lore. But that's okay, because these movies take place in a different continuity. In fact, it's better to be ignorant on that front to judge them for what they are without any bias.
But the FNAF movies are made for fans of the games.
Movies should be made for fans of movies, my friend. And defending its issues with, but that's how it is in the games, isn't really giving anyone a good impression of the games, now is it? And you're basically implying the writers lack talent or dignity by consciously using fans of the games as a safety net, and alienating any newcomers. What if someone wants to get into this franchise and watches the movies first? Why is it too much to ask for both fan service and solid plots and characters? They are not mutually exclusive. Anyway, the opening scene establishes the backstory of our villain, and their motivation for doing mean things, and it's executed like absolute dog shit. This girl, Charlotte, is at the first Freddy Fazbear location in 1982, attending a birthday party along with her friend Vanessa. I'm assuming you've seen the first movie to know who that is. Now, I suppose I ought to say this out loud, so none of you can tell me what's about to happen is even remotely believable. Every adult here who isn't an employee is the parent of at least one of these kids, if not their current guardian. They are here to watch over children, who they should know more than anyone tend to get a little overexcited at a place like this. Freddy Fazbear's fame literally comes from having lots of automated heavy machinery, whether it be the animatronics, the arcade games, or the indoor boat ride.
Excuse me, there's a boy who needs help.
Go tell your parents.
Please, there's something wrong.
Go tell your parents.
Not even 1 second after this guy is told a child is in trouble does he tell Charlotte to fuck off. He's not even slightly curious about what happened or who the boy is. It could be his child's friend for all he knows. Okay, maybe this one guy is cartoonishly a dick. Moving on.
Sir, please, there's somebody who needs help.
Not right now.
Please.
Not right now.
Will anybody help me?
Huh, another alien pretending to be a human brushes off Charlotte the fucking microsecond she begs for help. Must be a coincidence.
There's a little boy who needs help. Please help me.
Sorry, adults are talking. Run along.
Alright, who the fuck wrote this? Did my copy come from fucking interdimensional cable? Not 3, but 4 parents didn't show the slightest ounce of concern for a child panicking. None of them wonder if she's talking about their child, a child they know. If the child went to a restricted area, they could be fucking drowning in the river. This scene plays out like a nightmare, one of those worst case scenarios that you realize is comically farcical when you wake up. But nope, this is actually happening. These 20 seconds of nonsense are the catalyst for Charlotte's death, the reason she possesses the marionette, and why she's on a mission to kill all parents. I'm sorry, where is the fucking staff? Why are the lights off? This is either the kitchen or a dishwashing room, and it's a bustling day at Fazbear's. There's a birthday party happening. Where the fuck are the food and dishes coming from? Right before the boy is abducted, an employee comes out from the same doors with pizza, so...
What the hell?
Also, William Afton, the man who is trying to get away with child murder, chooses to create noise by whistling and washing something and leaves the boy in a spot where he can be seen from the door.
You idiot!
If you're going to claim he knew Charlotte saw him and wanted to bait her into saving the boy so he can kill her too, not only does he fail to kill the boy, but I guess he read the script and knew that not a single adult was going to look into his disappearance themselves. What happened to abducting children from random picnics? If you're going to claim he learned from his mistake of doing this during work hours, it doesn't take a fucking genius to figure that kidnapping and killing kids at the one setting that will point fingers at him is a bad idea. Anyway, you would think Charlotte would escape the same way she came in, right? It really wasn't that far from the kitchen, but on her way out, she gets backstabbed 3 times and exits onto the stage? The stage that is on the opposite side of the building?
What the hell?
And hold on, motherfucker had enough time to stab Charlotte 3 times, but not enough to yoink her back to stop her from letting everyone know she was just mortally wounded backstage?
What the hell?
Not a single fucking person started running up to her before she completely fell through the trap door, which could harm her body even more. Oh, that's why she teleported to the other side of the room, so we can have absolute cinema. And not a single fucking person even made a peep as a kid is bleeding out in the animatronic's arms, which they know could retreat back into the trapdoor at any moment. And that's how the movie starts. Then the murder is labeled an accident. Can I please take a fucking breather? Because
What do you mean?
so no CSI or medical examiner could determine that these are stab wounds. This room full of people who audibly gasped upon seeing the stab wounds did not think they were stab wounds. They never questioned why the boy Charlotte was carrying was unconscious. And likewise, the boy never mentioned the whole reason he was in her arms is cause he followed the rabbit into the back rooms and blacked out.
Everyone called it an accident. I had my suspicions about what had really happened, but
Oh, did you now, Dad? You weren't even there. Apparently everyone present called it an accident. And according to professionals, these aren't stab wounds. Back to 2002, Abby is still weirdly attached to her ghost friends from the first movie, who have inexplicably disappeared, including the animatronic bodies they inhabited. Mike lies to her by saying the bodies are broken but repairable after the conclusion of the first movie. I guess from ceiling panels falling on top of them? That reason is flimsy, but when Abby sneaks off to the now busted Freddy's and finds out they've disappeared herself, Mike tells her the remains are scattered throughout.
I mean, there's pieces of them here, pieces of them there.
To make it up to her, Mike pretends to sell her a fast talker before they leave.
Realistic voice interaction device. Talk to us anytime.
Meanwhile, at the first Freddy Fazbear location, a wannabe ghost hunter accidentally frees Marionette, who was dormant in a box. It's later revealed that none of the animatronics at this location can leave the premises anyway because of a perimeter lock. The following night, Abby's fast talker starts speaking to her, luring her to the first Freddy's. The movie wants you to think it's her ghost friends, but later it's revealed that the fast talker and new animatronics were being controlled by Marionette. And the reason Marionette decided to pretend to be Abby's friend is so that when she kidnaps Vanessa, she can force her into giving up the code to deactivate the perimeter lock by threatening Abby's life. But the thing is, Marionette had no idea Abby and Vanessa even knew each other, and she immediately assumes Vanessa is the one who set up the perimeter lock when I'm pretty sure it's something William Afton created. She couldn't have possibly known this stranger was going to tell Vanessa that she visited a different Freddy's, which is what triggered triggered Vanessa into going back there. Again, Marionette's been dormant in the box since the 80s. That's when Vanessa put her to sleep. So how does she know Vanessa is even around anymore? After the perimeter lock is unlocked and Mike learns about everything, he goes to the busted Freddy's to beg the ghost children to help save Abby, but he gets no response. Then at the climax, when the new animatronics controlled by Marionette are surrounding the main trio, the ghost friends show up in the OG animatronics to save the day. First of all, there's no way they made it here in time. They've made the point twice now that it would take an eternity for them to get anywhere outside of Freddy's. That's why Abby uses a bike for herself and rings up a taxi for them.
How do we get there? I only have my bike. How are we going to get there?
There's no way they successfully operated a phone with their baguette fingers and convinced multiple taxi drivers to take them here, cause all 4 of them ain't fitting in one taxi, so the trio should have been killed at the end. And second, the animatronics are perfectly intact, even though Mike told Abby they were in pieces scattered throughout Freddy's. Remember, this was after she went there herself to look for them and found nothing. So where the hell did these come from? And Mike wasn't lying a second time, because when he goes to get the ghost's help, he yells at nothing.
I don't know if you can hear me or not. I don't even know if you're all still here, but...
If he knew where the animatronics were, he would go talk to them directly. And now I have to ask, what were these pieces he was talking about?
I mean, there's pieces of them here, pieces of them there.
So either they didn't look hard enough and Mike is schizophrenic, or they did and Mike is schizophrenic, but the 7-foot-tall animatronics hid themselves even harder. Somehow. And I know some fucking nerd is gonna point to this dialogue.
So what happened to the yellow rabbit?
They say his body's still at Freddy's, hidden in a secret room that nobody's ever seen.
So the animatronics were hiding with Afton in a secret room, but I thought this was supposed to be obviously untrue, because who the fuck is they? The only ones who know about what happened is Vanessa, Mike, and Abby herself. There is no they, which brings me to the next thing that even makes this story possible. Why the fuck were Abby's friends hiding to begin with? All it took was Mike telling them Abby needs help, yet none of them said a word when Abby was emotionally distraught, when she was pleading through the fast talker. And I know another fucking nerd is going to point to this dialogue.
Mike, you should know that when we leave, I won't be able to hold him anymore. He'll get out eventually, and I'll be stronger than before.
So I guess the ghost kids were suppressing Afton's spirit this whole time, preventing him from reanimating as the yellow rabbit. But the boy says when they leave, Afton will get out eventually, meaning he's currently still trapped and will continue to be trapped indefinitely, and the ghost kids have been away from Freddy's for at least 10 minutes. So yes, any one of them could have quickly popped out to say hello to Abby this whole time without risking their hold on Afton. They could have talked to her through the fast talker this whole time. Marionette connected to that shit easily, and the fast talker didn't even come from the Freddy she's in. If any one of the ghost friends showed themselves to Abby from the get-go, she wouldn't have gotten the fast talker, she wouldn't have gone to the first Freddy's, Marionette's plan fails, and the movie would have been over. They character assassinated the fucking ghost children, and I haven't even mentioned how the post-credit scene shows Afton's spirit coming back in the yellow rabbit. Why haven't the ghost kids ripped his suit apart to stop him from owning a corporeal body?
It is of no concern.
They fucking plowed through the new animatronics like butter. And right before that, some Randy accidentally comes across the so-called secret room with a yellow rabbit when looking for props for a haunted house. Yet Mike and Abby weren't able to find this room when actually trying? Seriously? While we're on stupid characters, the dumbest thing Mike does is completely brush off Vanessa upon hearing that Abby snuck out of the house a second time without his knowledge.
She said she's been with Freddy and Chica. No, she said she saw them. She said she went somewhere.
He knows Abby's been trying to communicate with them using the fast talker, and it's not like he's unaware there's supernatural play afoot here. His excuse is he's trying to move forward, but not only is this happening after he saw a random flyer on Freddy's and called the number on it, aka not moving forward, but after he said this in the last movie.
You were there for me and Abby when it mattered the most. I don't think that either of us would be here today if it weren't for you.
So, what if this is one of those times that matters the most? And kinda contrived that Abby never shows Mike her professionally made Chica robot for the science fair, and kinda contrived that he never bothers to ask to see it despite being in an open box in front of her on the drive there. It's not like Abby is trying to keep her visit to Freddy's a secret. She told Vanessa about it in a heartbeat. You know, the one person who would tell Mike and actually try doing so. So yeah, Mike should have found out about this before visiting Charlotte's dad, but, you know, drama. As far as Vanessa goes, the dumbest thing she does is tell Marionette about the perimeter lock and confirming she can disable it.
I'm out of the box, but you still have me trapped here.
It's called a perimeter lock. None of the animatronics can leave, not even you.
You're a real nice girl and I like you a lot, but for right now, shut up.
But you can fix that.
I'm not gonna do that.
Shut up, shut up, shut the fuck up!
Great idea, Vanessa. Let the rageful ghost know exactly what's keeping her from hurting people and that you can do something about it. All she had to do is say her father designed Freddy's the way it is, but he's dead now, so there's no way of knowing how to take it down. Also, what was her plan here? She came here with the suspicion that Marionette was freed from her cage, and it seems like she came here without a music box. What are you gonna shoot the ghost? Don't tell me she was expecting to find the original music box to turn it back on. Isn't she smart enough to think Marionette would have destroyed it as soon as she was set free?
Nope.
The dumbest thing they do together is Mike closes the box as soon as he exorcises Charlotte out of Abby's body, and Vanessa doesn't tell him to keep it open. Both of them know it's the only way to keep her asleep, and Charlotte simply slithered over to another room. Shouldn't they be on edge, worried she's gonna come back and possess any one of them at any moment?
Stay away from us. Just stay away.
Yeah. Like that. They're fucking brain dead, so I guess not. Oh yeah, let's talk about how Charlotte's out of her cage in the first place. The Spectral Poopers are a group of kids who end up murdered at the first Freddy's, and this girl is the reason the Marionette is freed from her cage. Let's see how that's executed. They are a team of 3 trying to make a documentary. They are aware of the murder that took place here, and they want to capture as much paranormal activity as they can to make this episode a hit. And this kid is the only cameraman, so naturally... They split up. Young Adam Driver over here immediately goes into the boat tunnel without saying a word, and a minute later, the girl breaks away because she heard music in the distance. I don't fucking get it. Don't you guys want your cameraman with you at all times in case you trigger something spooky? What if something happens when you're alone and then you can't replicate it for the camera? Isn't that why they're here?
You're cool to record everything?
That's why you're here, isn't it?
Adam Driver falls into the river because his Geiger counter was going off on a flickering light bulb. Again, why aren't you calling your cameraman to record this? And then stays in the water for minutes instead of pulling himself back up because he's a fucking dumbass. The girl finds the source of the music she was hearing, confirming that she wasn't imagining it earlier, and she too doesn't care about getting the cameraman in here. To make matters worse, she picks it up and turns it off, completely oblivious to the fact that this would make great content. I'm not even a Spectral scooper, and apparently I care more about this documentary than they do. Then the box trapping Marionette starts opening, and she doesn't look up despite it clearly making noise. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the stupid science fair subplot. Abby is taking a robotics class at school, and oh my god, someone is making a guillotine. Wait, how old is Abby at this point?
I'm 11.
Okay, so that places her in 6th grade, first year of middle school, but this fucking kid looks and sounds like he's 8.
I believe in UFOs and ghosts.
Why is he in a class with kids who look upwards to 14? So we meet their teacher, Mr. Berg, who is a cartoonishly cruel asshole for no actual reason.
Some of you have been swept up in the stupidity that is this Freddy Fest. It's a mockery of everything that true robotics stands for. We're making real robots here, people.
Okay, he has this boiling hatred for Freddy Fazbear because it's not real robotics? It's 2002, and Fazbear Entertainment made a whole group of free-roaming humanoid robots, but that's not real or impressive, I guess.
We're making real robots here, people.
You are telling this to a class of allegedly 11-year-olds taking your Weenie Hut Junior level course who are making the most basic shit like turning wheels, pinching claws, whatever the fuck this thing is. This kid made a pillar with arms. Motherfucker, even you have a humanoid robot on display. How is any of this different from the core engineering behind animatronics? And later at the science fair, Mr. Berg is impressed by a fucking marble run. How is a marble track a real robot, but an animatronic isn't?
I want each and every one of you to be at that science fair on Saturday, whether you're entering or not. Or you can expect a big fat F.
He can't do that. No fucking teacher would act this way towards minors who don't have free will yet. University professors wouldn't even threaten their adult students' grades with mandatory attendance for a weekend event that has absolutely no bearing on the class. And he's talking to a room full of bedwetters, nose pickers, and 6'7" dancers.
Certainly I don't have to remind you how important this event is to the school. We're defending a 3-year winning streak.
I'll be ready.
Yeah, well, that's just the thing. I don't think you will be ready.
Then how about you fucking help her? Aren't you the fucking teacher?
Later.
I just don't want you to be embarrassed.
Why would I be embarrassed? I'm proud of my project.
Let's just find the perfect place to display it. Oh!
Jesus Christ, I'm not saying you can't have a teacher who's an asshole, but that's all this guy is, and there's nothing to understand why he's making it his personal mission to make Abby forfeit. I hope no one's claiming he's afraid Abby's participation is going to break the school's winning streak since she's a newcomer to the class, because he didn't bother asking how this looks so professionally made or seeing if it actually works first. It is a night and day difference from the version he saw in class, and he just doesn't care. All we know is he hates the Fazbear animatronics because apparently they're an insult to robotics. Yet he and half of the class built the core of an animatronic. It'd be fine if Mr. Berg was in the first scene alone, but he actually influences the plot and remains a piece of shit until he gets the Commissioner Gallo treatment. And that's exactly why they wrote him this way. They wanted a cheap kill we can cheer for. But how can I when the character makes no sense and takes me completely out of the movie? Also, are we really saying he deserves to die just for being a mean teacher?
This is my new science fair project.
Is this a joke, Miss Schmidt? Putting someone in a suit and passing it off as your own work?
Okay, he's half right about this one. I don't know why Abby thought anyone would buy that she made a 7-foot-tall 1-to-1 replica of a famous animatronic. Mr. Berg is still an idiot for acting like this is a non-robotic suit when he just saw its eyelids and beak moving as it talked. Oh, but then Abby actually
Oh my god. I get it.
But then Abby actually wins first place, so Mr. Berg was wrong. Someone must have dumped Sharpie ink in the punch bowl because the entire audience is stupid enough to buy this. And then when Toy Chica is about to kill him, Mr. Berg still thinks this is a student in a suit.
You want test answers? I'll give you answers to the next test.
Are you fucking kidding me?
All you have to do is check the monitors and make sure there isn't a security breach.
I know. That'd be the ultimate custom night if something went wrong. I don't want the place to be in ruin.
If you can't handle the job, I'll happily offer it to Jeremy Fitzgerald. He can work 5 nights at Freddy's too.
No, I really need this.
Alright then, you're hired.
FNAF 2 commits one of my biggest pet peeves in these animatronic horror franchises. They give the robots the ability to move rapidly and in complete stealth whenever it's convenient for a jump scare or the plot. It's the embodiment of
what we call a little deceptive editing.
Why are you asking for realism in a movie about giant killer robot bears possessed by ghosts?
I am asking for internal consistency. I can suspend my disbelief for the premise of spirits controlling machines. You know, as long as whatever they establish with this supernatural ability isn't contradicted later. So if the movie audibly and visually shows me that the 400 pounds of steel is not agile, produces loud stomping footsteps when it walks, and mechanical whirring and whizzing noises anytime it moves even slightly, then I expect the movie to keep it that way. Except they never do. When it's time to make the audience shit their pants, all of a sudden their gears are lubed the fuck up and they're light as a feather. This happens in the first FNAF, Willy's Wonderland, and the Child's Play reboot. However, I'm afraid I'm of the belief that media should improve over time and avoid repeating past mistakes. So don't pull the "they do this in every movie" card. The only thing getting pulled is me out of the movie because the only possible explanation is the animatronic obtained the Speed Force or teleportation out of nowhere. And if that's the case, then what's the point of being slow and noisy at all? This happens when Vanessa is speeding down a road and the venomized Foxy somehow catches up to her and gets on top of her car, all while barely making any noise. This happens when Mike is busy gaming at the first Freddy's. First, the withered Freddy manages to not make a sound and sneak up from in front of him. Okay, half of this is on Mike for being a blind fuck. You're telling me he didn't see two glowing eyeballs moving towards him with his peripheral vision. Then this pinwheel propeller hat wearing motherfucker just materializes in front of his desk. Then the withered Bonnie comes through a vent next to Mike, so it's been hauling ass by crawling in a tight space, and once again, no noise. Later, the lights go off, and the withered Chica pops up right next to Mike without a peep. This happens at all of the houses the new animatronics break into to kill the parents. So Fat Bear is standing off to the side behind these shelves. Already unbelievable that he was able to sneak in here, but then he's 2 feet away from the lady when she turns around. Toy Bonnie fucking climbed through a window off screen, which would have been a total shit show of noise. The animatronics are not flexible. This thing would have been scraping against the window frame. Its ears would have been hitting everything. It basically would have crash landed into this room. When Bonnie and this girl are simply talking, her mom yells out,
"Debbie, stop talking to your animals and go to sleep."
So if object permanence was actually a thing in these movies, the mom would have checked on the huge ruckus coming from her daughter's room. But of course, the normies are gonna claim none of that happened and Bonnie slid through the window like a dildo and this is peak horror. Then this classic horror cliche happens.
Look out for bears. No, the circus isn't in. The local grassroots...
Yeah, no, that didn't happen. Yeah, fuck you, definitely not. This happens when Toy Chica goes after Mr. Berg. He's on his way out of the school, and Toy Chica somehow knows where he's going, and somehow hides in a room that's ahead of him without making a single sound. Keep in mind, this is how fucking slow she moves. We are never shown the animatronics having the capacity to scan through walls. They utterly fail to see Mike through a Fazbear mask for fuck's sake. Wait, if Foxy went to attack Mike because its system is failing and cannot identify this moving entity as its ally, then why wasn't it attacking Bonnie and Freddy? Wouldn't they also be considered foreign entities?
This is a film about ghost robots intended for children.
Oh right, because we think so little of kids that intelligence-insulting bullshit is acceptable and actually celebrated. Yeah, let's party, let's eat. Kids are so stupid, they deserve shitty movies. Wait, Megan Fox was the voice of Toy Chica? Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is the greatest movie made in the past 10 decades. Megan, I loved your movie. My email is in my channel info and my DMs are open, so, you know, hit me up.
Can't wait to meet you. So join the animatronic family. We open real soon. Try your best to hold on to sanity. Come get to know me, and you won't wanna leave after tonight. Down here we're lonely, and we would love you to join us for a ride. It's Filthy Frank, motherfucker! It's Filthy Frank, bitch! Let's get some pussy tonight.